welcome back. We are in Vero Beach, Florida for another garden tour. But today's video is going to focus on what to do with that unwanted or maybe wasted space. This is exactly what was happening here in this commercial site. We were able to really create something interesting with a kind of a forgotten about area, kind of that forgotten about space. A lot of times we have that in our side yards or that rear corner in our backyard we don't know what to do with. So I think this video really helps some of the comments that I've gotten in the past of, what to do with this space or what to do with that space or, difficult areas of your yard. So I'm hoping that this might give you guys inspiration for just those particular spaces. So so let's get started. We're going to kind of walk and talk plants and kind of see what we created here. So we first started with creating enough seating section here for having 10 picnic benches brought in. So we extended the patio with some nice pavers, and this allows for everybody to come out and have their lunches, and it's a really great gathering place for the employees for the middle of the day. But that kind of left us with just an unusual kind of a wasted space on the side. So Cheryl was so open to playing around with some ideas of what we can do with that spot. So we really did, we brought in a water feature. We brought in a couple different kinds of crushed gravel and stone, some boulders, created an edging pathway, and then flanked it with some tropical plants. And then of course we brought in some Lucie to really create kind of a green fence wall, so that way all that traffic that you guys might be hearing is going to bring that down quite a bit. So I think we got a lot into a small space. So you guys do not give up on that spot of that side yard of your house that's kind of just, there's nothing there. Use every bit of real estate that you've got, because we all know how valuable that is. It's fun to turn a spot that was once nothing into, something kind of cool, something like a little secret garden. And I think that's what's been created here. So you guys will have to let me know what you think of it in the comments. So follow me, let's walk and talk, and I'll show you the plants and trees that we chose. So this is right off of the patio seating section. These are the 10 benches that were brought in to house kind of everybody's, lunch area. And then it leads into this little side yard, what I would call an alley. It's pretty much just nothing but just a little nook along the side of the building. And we started off with kind of creating a nice little dark stepping pad. This is Tahitian granite. We mix the sizes in here so it tamps down really, really well and creates a really nice hard foundation. So, and this leads to a water feature. The water feature is going to really help dull that noise that you're already hearing from the traffic. And then of course the Lucie hedge that you're going to see in a moment is going to also help with that. That is going to give us that extra barrier, because I do so good with soundproofing. But right behind you, Bryce, is the first main entrance to this space. We flanked it with 2 Foxtail Palms. This right here is the future seating section with the cool bench that's going to be set here. And we've kind of changed the variation in stone, because I just think that looks so good when you're working in a small space. You guys, don't be afraid to bring in highlighted colors, because that gives your eyes places to rest. It gives you a little bit of interest. We've also done the same thing with kind of popping a boulder in here and a boulder in there, so that also gives you just another different kind of just another different kind of material in the garden. I love mixing elements like that, because that can take, no matter how big your space is, it can take it and make it, just make that a little bit more interesting. So, you guys know I love to bring pygmy date palms in to kind of create a nice natural border. These are going to do a great job of that as they mature into their 10 to 12 foot heights. And then, of course, blew my minds at the bottom, because now they've kind of closed up for going to bed tonight. I love how they do that. They will open up again tomorrow morning and be that perfect blue, gorgeous coloring that we're used to seeing. But we're getting late in the day. Right over here to my left are the blaze copper leaves. Now those will get an easy 3 by 4, so they're really going to be nice thick grouping and kind of really give you that pop of color. Down below in this little spot, because we didn't have much to work with, we're going to brighten that. So you can kind of see how we go from dark to light to dark. It really gives you just different highs and lows to look at as you're walking through the garden. This is another seating section. They're going to put a nice curved bench here. And then this is going to be a place for a main bench just kind of along the wall here. So I just cannot wait. I'll see if I can post a picture of what those look like when they come in so you guys can kind of see it all finished. And then this is also one that I cannot wait to do an updated video tour on it, to see everything full and grown in and lush and tropical. And then these hedges here being 6 to 8 foot tall and kind of really enclosing in this space. You know, my goal with this spot was, why couldn't this be a courtyard? Why couldn't this be a little getaway? You know, why not? You know, why not take this little 13-foot wide space and make it super interesting? And I think that we managed that. So yeah, it doesn't have to be large to be awesome. So the pathway continues on through here. We set in some more light stepping stone or flagstones here, and then this is an area for either 2 small chairs and a little table or a curved seating bench. This would be ideal for this spot. And you know, you get just a view directly across. You have a nice water feature that gives off good sound. This is a slate sphere water feature, and it has the 100-gallon reservoir down below. We installed a sprinkler system for everything here, so there is a little bubbler that feeds that. So every time the sprinklers go on, it feeds the 100-gallon tank, so that way evaporation and whatnot, they don't have to worry about that. Being a commercial building, you definitely want to hope that's taken care of for them. And you know what? When you're creating a pathway in a space, what I think is kind of cool to do is at least do 2 variations of different kinds of stone. Now this was I felt it was too small to bring in too much more than that. So we did bring in, this is white river rock. And then we set in a light flagstone at the base for all the seating sections, so they can be easily identified as, hey, something goes here. This is an impact space. And then carried it into doing the Tahitian granite as the walkway, because you guys know, if you watch my videos, I love Tahitian granite as your base. You know, just that just does such a good job of compacting super, super well. And then brought in some Indian River Creek rock, because I thought it went so well with the slate sphere. I love that look. I love how this is its own spot. So we brought in 2 young foxtail palms to kind of give that area a little bit of a little bit more of a barrier on this fence. When this grows in, it really is going to feel so tropical, so magical, because it will be kind of a nice solid wall here. We've ended this spot off with a triangle fan palm with the fan facing this way. This is technically an area that's almost always in the shade, so this building shades this. This is a huge building, and so I wanted something that in the dark, this is really going to give you that pop of color, that pop of interest, and so I think it's going to do a nice job of being that perfect ending point. And what a great spot for pictures, you know, as you're looking from the front of the walkway all the way to the back. It just really, there's everything I feel like draws you out into this space, gets you away from that phone inside, and you know, this is a great spot for coffee, you know, for employees. So I hope they really, really enjoy it. Down below, I brought in some Sesia, because you guys know how I love how those mound together. They're going to really group together and be a nice 3-foot solid grouping. Also give us a little bit of brightness. And then to that back section area, we're going to allow the blaze copperleaf to really fill in and do what they do, which is kind of really take over and become a nice 4-foot grouping back there. So I think they're ideal. And then the Lucie as the backdrop they're going to allow to get 6 to 8 foot tall. And what I love about Lucie is that they not only give you the height of coverage, but they stay solid from the bottom all the way to the top. So you're always getting that solid wall of growth from them. They're always going to give you that perfect barrier, and they'll get about as thick as you'll let them. So you can keep them pretty narrow, up to 2 foot wide, or you can allow them to get, you know, 6 foot deep if you wanted to, and that really just really helps with that denseness of controlled sound. So they're the perfect barrier for noise if that's what you're needing them for. And obviously in this instance, that's what we were needing it for. We were trying to create a private setting back here for everyone to enjoy. So they're going to do a great job of that. But we dabbled in some bromeliads up here. You're going to see the silver one that's there. That's a silver Odorata. That's a bromelia that does not reproduce, so it's a single bromeliad. It grows nice and tall to about 4 foot tall, and it's really going to do a nice job of, kind of creating some impact on that right corner. And then down below, we've got the blue moons and the sexy pinks, and they'll do a great job out in the sun. This is the only spot that gets a little bit more sun than the rest of the garden. So they're going to be a nice little highlight spot in the landscape. And then I've just kind of dabbed little ground covers in. We've got a little ground cover of liriope here and a little ground cover on this side of the bench of liriope there. I love these African irises. These are going to flank the single bench that goes here, and they bloom a white flower. So again, a little bit of brightness in a dark spot. We've got some dwarf ixoras that are coming through here. And then, of course, gold dust crotons. You guys know how I feel about my gold dust crotons, especially in a slightly shady spot. I think they do a nice job. And these down here, instead of getting short and chunky like the gold dust crotons, these get tall and really, really grouped together as a nice little grouping. So I can plant 4 of them in a row. They will not turn into a hedge. They'll become a nice, thick, dense grouping there. So that leads us back out into the front of the walkway. Oh, I probably forgot the chrysandras. So these are little chrysandras. They're orange. They look really nice when they grow in. They're quite young there, but we just kind of need a little variation of color around the boulder that's there. And then we topped it off on each end with little ruby reds, because, when you have orange and you have yellow, you gotta have purple. And so they do a great job of that. I mix that texture up again with those foxtail ferns. I love to put foxtail ferns near boulders or any kind of rock setting. They just look so perfect that way. And then this is one little area of a backdrop that you can see that this oak tree provides a good amount of shade. So we were able to bring in, well, giant leopard's ear or tractor seat or farfugium, whatever you want to call these guys. They will show up for whatever name you give them, but they are a perfect shade plant, and they will grow together and become an easy 4 foot tall in this nice little grouping here as a perfect backdrop. So that about does it. That pretty much finishes us off here. Like I said, it's not a big space, but I feel like we got a lot of impact for what we had to work with in this area. So keep in mind, if you guys are working with a space and it's a very narrow space, make sure you bring in some vertical aspects like these foxtail palms, and then in areas that you want some additional coverage, bring in something short and chunky like the pygmy date palms underneath of those to kind of really give you that depth. And then you work your way down from there. You don't need tons and tons of room to create a cool environment. You just really just make sure you kind of do a rinse and repeat of themes throughout the planting. If you're going to use two types of stone, make sure you use it throughout the whole space. If you're going to use the same 4 or 5 plant groupings, make sure you hit those equally along the path, and you'll be surprised how well that all comes together. So to me, lately I've really enjoyed side yards. You guys will have to check out my side yard video at my house if you like side yards or you're looking to do something with what's your wasted space, then you might find that helpful. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope this video gave you some inspiration, a little bit of tips and things to use in your own space, and some plant and tree material, kind of a shopping list that you could use for your own gardens. So thank you again for joining me, and please leave me a comment with any questions that you might have, and I'd be happy to mention them in our Q&A video coming up. So thanks so much, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.
And don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification bell so you know whenever we post. And what else do we need? Oh yeah, if you want any video ideas, leave it in the comments. Help us out. We want to post what you want to watch. All right, sounds good. Have a good one. Thank you.